Good afternoon. Uh, I'm going to talk about hydrogen as the ultimate fuel. Why it's ultimate? No carbon is involved. So if we want to go towards zero carbon emissions and all that, this is the ultimate. And I'll describe what are the challenges and opportunities. As we are going, as we progress, slowly the solids usage is going to go down, liquids will peak and come down, and then the gases are going to take over. We already see that in methane usage, and over time it will go to hydrogen. And we are looking at 50 years, or by 2100 it is estimated this is going to be hydrogen. Okay, so this is the transition to hydrogen energy. We'll move from petrol, diesel, CNG, etc. for both automobiles and power generation. In the intermediate stages, we will have electric and hybrid vehicles, biofuels, synfuels, and so forth. But the ultimate objective should be environmentally friendly and carbon-free hydrogen-based vehicles and power generations. And hydrogen based basically means fuel cells based vehicles. Here is another time frame. Uh, Here we are building the market for hydrogen. Then we are doing the infrastructure and then hydrogen economy. So this probably is going to be maybe 2050 time frame. Okay, so why we should be excited about hydrogen? Because there is no carbon involved. First, remember it's an energy carrier and not energy. So you need to provide energy, split water into hydrogen and oxygen. And then you combine these two in a fuel cell kind of environment to get water and electricity or any other form of energy. Now, why would I want to do this? First, the oxygen you get here is more or less pure oxygen, and today indeed there are where people are making oxygen, medical grade oxygen and all that. That's how the process is driven. And this energy could be any energy, renewable or traditional and so forth, right? So this energy is whenever available, it's a storage. And this, when we reverse it, typically we don't use oxygen, we use air or as the oxygen source. So hydrogen air gives you water back, and that energy can be electricity. So this is the conversion process, and that's why there is no carbon involved anywhere. All right. One way, there are many ways of producing hydrogen, and I'll give you some economics at the end of this thing. You can do reforming of hydrocarbons to get methane reforming, for example. We have basically, I'm going to talk about thermochemical hydrogen generation, which is one way of making hydrogen. You do bunch of chemical reactions, start with water, and you supply heat at different temperatures, and you split basically water into hydrogen and oxygen. So there are two leading cycles, and the OEC is involved in both of those. One is copper chloride cycle and iron sulfur cycle, IS cycle. And basically again it's the same thing. You need heat at different temperatures. You need heat at about 850 or so in IS cycle, at 450 C in copper chloride, and typically those are available from nuclear reactors. So most of the times this research is being done at atomic energy commissions worldwide. And we are of course working with Atomic Energy Commission of India on this development. These technologies are yet to be commercialized. We are going ahead with intermediate pilot scale for this. So again, energy source can be any source. You can have nuclear, solar, wind, geothermal. So you can make it as clean and green as you want. Nuclear, it's rather cheap. You have supercritical water reactors that can give 600, another fast breeder and all that can give 850, 900. Solar, actually, you may be surprised. Temperature is no limitation. With proper combination of concentrators, you can get over 2000 K with solar energy. There are lots of challenges. There are technologies, as I said, are under development in the laboratory and so forth. ONGC Energy Center has been active in this area since 2007. And here is our long term, here is our approach. Copper chloride proof of principle, we have finished that. Closed loop copper chloride, closed loop IS cycle, and partially open loop IS cycle. So two versions of that. After that, we bridged the gap with supporting studies and corrosion, material of construction, and all of those things. Then engineering studies. So this is somewhere, we are somewhere in here, and further improvement, scale up, and pilot demonstration. It's not just the production. I want to emphasize we need to have all the other things together going with it. Development of collection, pressurizing, distribution, as well as usage. So we are also working on SOEC, SOFC systems, fuel cell systems. And we are also as well looking at storage of hydrogen using metal hydrides, and also we are looking at high temperature electrolysis for production of hydrogen. So we are working in assorted areas. When you are doing something like, it's like climbing Himalayas, so you need to first go learn how to build your strength, slowly go to some small hillocks, then go to a little bit bigger, and then you will reach the Himalayas. Right, so these are all the steps that are involved. Let me be brief. Copper chloride cycle. We have actually patented this cycle with our collaborators OEC and ICT Mumbai. These are the actual reactions. I don't have time to go through, but I'm happy to explain all of this. And also we'll be presenting 3 papers at the Hydrogen Association annual conference in Mumbai coming up in December. So progress to date, multi-step cycle has been established. We have patented this process in 7 countries, including US, Canada, UK, Japan, and so forth. We have developed a lot of new molten salt systems, cost-effective alternate methods, electrochemical cells. Again, this is patented. So there are a lot of IP that we have raised, and I think we are on our way for going to the next scale. Here is our 25 liter per hour closed loop metallic facility. First you start with ceramics, glass, and then move on, because materials, as I said, is an issue. This is operational since 2015, and now we are planning for 12 metric tons per day facility in our own premises at Mehsana, Gujarat, using solar power. IS cycle, again same thing. We are putting in water and making hydrogen and oxygen out of it. Two times you need heat, 120 degrees over here for Bunsen reaction, and 450. This is called a complete closed loop cycle, because everything is recycled. So the SO2 and iodine that is produced goes back into the process. So only thing net is hydrogen, water comes in, and water H2, hydrogen and oxygen comes out, and you supply energy at these 2 temperatures. And here is worldwide. Again, I don't have time, but here are people who are working on the IS cycle, US, Japan, Korea, China, and of course we are working on this. We have closed loop experimental facilities at IIT Delhi. We work very close, in close collaboration with our partners. And open loop cycle, why we call it open loop, we are basically taking H2S, incinerate that, make H2SO4 and HI, and then produce iodine and sulfuric acid. So instead of having a closed loop, we take H2S, which is a nuisance in most refineries, and produce H2SO4, which again is required for alkylation reactions in refineries. So that's why we call it open loop, and we are going to go ahead with this process. This is the IIP Dehradun, where we have the facilities for this, and this now is going to be scaled up to metallic process at MRPL, Mangalore Refineries Private Limited, which is owned by ONGC, and that's how we are going to start building the thing. So, but here we are using this technology to take H2S and make sulfuric acid. So it will save, it will be very, very environmentally friendly, and of course economically justifiable. And this is again a step in our hydrogen. This can be done at most refineries as well. So this is a neat and clean way to handle H2S. This is again same summarized. H2SO4 is for sale or captive use in refinery. You are taking H2S, converting SO2, this carry out this reaction with heat and so forth. The HI is decomposed to give back iodine and hydrogen, and this SO2 is converted to H2SO4. That's why it's called open loop. Some more new initiatives we have. We are still continuously improving and creating simpler processes. Instead of 2 steps, we are going to use electrochemical cell to make hydrogen and so on. We are also looking at SOFC development with CGCRI. Development of sensors. So as we are working with iodine, sulfur, chlorine, H2S, SO2, we are developing sensors at these concentrations and so forth. And preliminary studies at our actual plant are very encouraging. So these are sort of side things that happen when you have to climb the Himalayas of hydrogen. I cannot close without telling you something about the cost, because that's the ultimate. Production costs of hydrogen today in 2018, and this is IEA estimates, and we agree with those. Natural gas is the cheapest today using steam methane reforming SMR process. That's how you would produce hydrogen gas today, or is being produced. That's required for refineries. If you add carbon capture and utilization and sequestration, the cost goes up there. Coal comes somewhere in here. So these are the places. This is how hydrogen is made today. And if we make it from renewables, any type that I mentioned, solar and so forth, the cost is significantly higher than this thing. But with the technical improvements and so forth, here is another prediction or estimation from IEA that if we do hybrid solar and onshore wind systems in the long term, in the areas, fortunately India is one of those, the cost will come down to less than $2 per kg of hydrogen. And that is definitely below the $3 that it costs today to make from. So long-term picture is really good with the solar. This area is Ladakh, Leh Ladakh. This area is Rajasthan and Gujarat. So those are the areas where the hydrogen can be produced at significantly a lower cost with this thing, and that's our focus. With that, I would like to conclude. World is gearing up to meet the imminent energy transition by the middle of this century to go to the hydrogen economy. Hybrid thermochemical water splitting processes are attractive green technology options for large scale production of hydrogen and applications and so forth. And we are moving ahead to the pilot scale for both IS closed loop, IS open loop, as well as the copper chloride cycle thermochemical splitting. With that, I certainly say the future, I think, is definitely amazing in this technology. This will be fuel of the future. With that, thanks.